on today's show. We're so glad that you could join us for Friday. Matty Potts will not. We will miss you, brother, from another mother. He will be back on Wednesday, of course. But we've got a big one for you guys in his absence because we want to talk about YouTube rules, Kiki in the shower, birds and the bees, my new $20 rule, and I've got a brand new game on Tinder and Bumble.
And...
What?
And
of course, window shopping, which is the title of the show. Belly is the one who keeps us all straight here. He is the only one along here with the ride with me, so just strap it on, folks, because Belly and I are holding it down all day.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Skater D.
Hey, I'm John Charles Meyer, producer of Dave Made a Maze.
Hey, what's up? This is Scott Ladotti, author of Play the Devil, and you are listening to Lucdogg.
Lucdogg.
Lucdogg. This is Andy fucking Cruz from SiriusXM 415, and you're listening to Lucdogg in the Morning.
#1 podcast in the world. Yeah, boy.
Welcome back, folks. Oh, we're so ready to go. Belly's in his Superman shirt, and I'm ready to rock out with you. Welcome to the show, my wonderful friends. Thank you for joining us in the social media lounge, which we are now today serving Christmas trees for all.
safety brakes.
Safety brakes for everybody. Belly Matt LaBelle joins me across the way. What's up, dude?
Not much. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day outside
75 degrees outside Studio A. So you've got plenty of time to get your one-wheel challenges in. Get out there and find something new. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. But we have got to start the show, so let's do this. It's a different pacing without a third person to introduce, because right now I'm doing Potts typically, and he says greetings and salutations, everybody. And then we get into the show. So quick, if we can, moment of silence for Matty Potts. He will no longer be joining us on Friday episodes.
For now.
For now.
Until he gets that itch that's you just gotta scratch.
You mean right when he has a baby and has no time? Literally no time?
No time.
We look... Right now, Potts is a small business owner starting a restaurant. And, of course, we pump it like it's our own because we just want the best for him. And the food is really good. Marinate on the corner of whatever and whatever out in California. We've said it 1,000 times. But it's really good. It's on Melrose. And he's like, you know, when you start a business, like, I don't know if you guys realize this, but you're really not paying yourself much unless it's a unique situation like mine where I didn't have any overhead and any bills. You know, first of all, welcome to the social media lounge. I see they're popping off already.
GM social media lounge.
GM SML.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's hard as a business owner. When I started, I had no overhead. Potts has a rent to pay for his restaurant. You know, so a true business owner, like when they get started, typically you don't pay yourself for 5 years. I mean, 5 years. I remember that quote when Michael Scott Paper Company is about to start. And Michael goes to Oscar, and Oscar's just like, it's not feasible, Michael. It's not feasible. Are you able to maintain without paying yourself for 5 years? Like, that's average, right, Belly?
I'd say it's pretty average. I'm sure there are cases where it takes longer or shorter.
Like mine. I mean,
I
was one of those. But in general, you're not making a ton of money in the start of a business.
No. When
you're running it with just one other person, and we're very happy for him that it has gone as well as it has. I mean, they're like one of the resident caterers for Tinder, which has like 2,500 employees.
They've done some big events. They catered the world couple games of the World Series when for the Dodgers.
That's right. We did one for Greenpeace when I was out there just a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually really neat. I got to put the food and set it up all as if I was his. I was like, I'm your assistant. You boss me around right now. You tell me where to put stuff. Yell at me. Yeah. I don't care. I told Belly I play a good assistant. I take a good second. You don't see me do it a lot. But if I am in the assistant role, I own up to the assistant role. And I'm like, you tell me what to do, and I'm following.
You know your role. That's good.
But it was cool seeing, like, setting up for Greenpeace, and we're live streaming it and all this. And it was just like, all right, so he does some good stuff. But he's got to also pay some bills and also, you know, be responsible for the baby he's about to have.
Yep. He's got a lot going on.
So he picked up a second job because of his nightclub experience, and he's got to bartend on Fridays until 3 o'clock in the morning.
So it means he gets up at 6 a.m. to be on with us every Friday, which we've always appreciated.
And he's up for 21 hours.
And then he works all day at Marinate.
And then he goes to his
nightclub job.
And then he comes home at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's got to do it all again on Saturday night. I mean, those are his days off from his gig.
Yep.
So we respect. He finally was like, guys,
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die, and it's not because I don't want to stop this. I have to. Something's got to go. And, you know, I don't want to drain the show. You guys probably see it. He's yawning half the show anyway. He's contributing like a champion. But the dude's tired. The dude's running it he's burning the candle at both ends. So we were just like, look, go do you, man. We're very happy I'm thrilled to still have him on Wednesdays. Thrilled. Because he, I think, adds just so much to the show. Belly, you're going to have to start doing some sounds on Friday.
I know. I'm going to have to start doing the soundboard. I'm going to figure this out.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to figure it out.
If you're in the D.C. area and you would like to take on an internship here at Studio A, we don't pay well. But we pay in safety breaks before the show.
We pay in safety breaks and we pay in
sponsoring today's show.
Today's show is obviously sponsored by Christmas trees. I can't even get into the voice right now. I'm still stretching the vocal cords.
Watch it. So you need the lights. Show the people. You know. There you go.
Today's show is sponsored by safety brakes and Christmas trees of all ornaments. Because without safety brakes, we may not have a show. Because where do you think all this crazy shit we talk about comes up with?
Newsflash. Creativity comes from safety brakes. So anyway, we're going to have fun with you guys today. Good morning in the social media lounge. We are serving Christmas trees for everyone, so make sure that you get your top shelf. Yep. Hopefully you don't have anything to do later today. Like Cat Williams, I got shit to do today. You know? I know that feeling.
So
like you're just smacked.
So let's get into some of the topics we talked about.
All right, I'm done pussyfooting around it. What do you want to do? You want to do window? Let's start with window shopping.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. You can just take this one away.
So we started talking about things that you kind of use to distract yourself or keep yourself motivated or keep yourself give yourself an idea of where you want to be in the next 2 years.
Belly,
1 year,
it's so easy to get into a
10.
rut.
Yes.
It's so easy to get into a rut, especially if you have a typical job of like a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to become mundane.
So I always talk about window shopping. You always kind of you should always keep an eye out for what jobs are out there. You should always keep an eye out for what opportunities are going to be able to present themselves to you, whatever opportunities that you may come across that you just see and you know. It's one of those clicks, like love at first sight. It's the same kind of concept.
I don't know if you guys realize, but about 2 weeks ago, I did on a show, I had written down, how do you keep your mind right? And when I looked at it and I teased it, I said it, and then I was like, shit, I don't know where I'm going with this. And we came back from break, and we took it a whole different direction. But this is the actual conversation that we were looking to have with that title. Because I believe that it is extremely healthy to allow yourself to window shop every now and then.
Yeah.
If you're you know, maybe feeling a little bit like you're in a rut, go head over to Airbnb and just see what kind of apartments are around, just somewhere that you could visit within a 2-hour drive. Or maybe you want to just take a trip to Miami. Just see what it costs. By the time you get done looking at all the things that go into a trip in Miami, you're probably going to have exhausted your need to get out of the rut, and you'll feel almost like you just took a mental vacation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't book the trip, but I'm saying you almost don't need to sometimes.
No.
I do it all the time. I'll look at cars knowing I'm not going to buy one, but just to give myself the reminder that, hey, my life isn't just what this is.
Yeah.
You can add.
I don't do it with cars, but like houses and like
you love
like
the
that.
apartment search.
I love going around.
Why?
So I'm all big on, I don't know, I kind of create this story out of it where you go into someone's own imagery of a mindset of, it's this weird voyeurism where you get to go in, see how someone else may live or set up their own home. And then you get to reimagine how you would set up that home in your own way. If you played a lot of The Sims, you probably think about, I love The Sims.
I never got into them.
It was just a fun kind of game. And it's funny because there was something happening yesterday or the other day when we were in the apartment that I thought of it. You were playing the piano, practicing the song for one of the weddings you had coming up.
Faithfully by
Journey. And I'm thinking, like, so Adam has practiced the piano enough where he's got like a 5-point skill level on the piano compared to my 0. So I get on there.
Come on, man. I've been playing since I was 6 years old. I mean, I can do it with my eyes closed. That's not fair.
Well, I think about it like this. When you have a 5-point kind of level in that game, you're really good. You can hear the progression.
Okay.
Where if I started playing, you'd hear the ding, 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 ding. That's how I would sound playing the piano. So eventually, you in the game progress as this character.
I think I understand. If I have no
realize-
experience in the game as a character, I would sit down at the piano and just be garbled. But if I had a 5-star, then I would sit down and it would actually be
and it
audible
actually
music.
sound like
Oh,
the
that makes
song
sense.
you were actually
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. 5-starred it on the piano. I'll tell you, I suck at a lot of things. The piano is not one of them. Piano is something that I'm like, would anybody like a competition? Can you do it without music? This is one thing that people don't realize that instruments, music, it's a language. It's the same part of your brain that you use for language. And so if you speak that language, you really don't need the music. So kind of musicians who just read only. I'm like, really? Why don't you just you already speak half the language? However, I think it's really helpful. So let's ask the Social Media Lounge. If you could move somewhere today, where would you move?
There's at least 3 cities you'd move to.
You
guarantee.
know that there's an answer to that question. I want just type the city in right now. Belly will pipe them in. Where would you move today if you could move with no consequences?
What are your 3?
What are your 3? Just throw me one, because I'm sure multiple people. What are my 3?
I was gonna say I'll tell you mine.
Go for it.
So Nashville, Denver, and
I'm gonna guess.
You know what?
I'm gonna guess it's
Actually,
San Diego.
No, San Diego. You know what? Now I'm reevaluating it already. No, San Diego's awesome, but I don't know how.
It's gonna have to be a Christmas tree friendly state.
I like my. No, it doesn't have to.
It does for me.
It doesn't have to be. If we're in a Christmas tree friendly world, it's fine. I'm talking about. Ooh.
Now what are you
I'm
struggling?
fighting-
At least do it on the air.
I do
What do you
kind of
got?
want to stay on the eastern side.
Okay.
I'm more East Coast side.
Okay.
So I'd probably say I'll say Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina, because you got to be close to Float Life Fest. No big. Oh no, that's Asheville. Damn
It's in Asheville, but it's
That is
fairly
close.
closer.
Do we have any answers on the Social Media Lounge before I give mine?
Prague. Oh, see, I
Prague?
didn't even think of outside
Why?
the world.
Why would you even go to Prague? Am I missing? I know nothing about it. I don't know the climate. I don't know the type of city that is. It's a city, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I have no problem sounding stupid. I told you I will be cocky about piano, not about geography. Nope. But that's why I'm liking traveling, Belly, because I had never been to the West Coast until last year.
Yeah, me. I was first time this year.
Right? I went to LA. I've been to 4 times since. I'll be there 2 times in the last month.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because all the jokes that I see on TV shows that I'm watching back, they make sense to me now. E says to he says to Turtle on Entourage, if you guys don't figure this out, we'll all be working at Del Taco.
Yeah.
And I mean, that joke just over my head as an East Coaster for life. But Del Taco is the West Coast Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I didn't know what a Del Taco was. I thought it was just this restaurant that I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. That's the most popular. You go to LA, you stop at Del Taco. It's like In-N-Out Burger.
I've thought about it like that too, and I was talking to someone. And by the way, from the Social Media Lounge, the reason they chose Prague, most beautiful women on earth.
Nice. No, man, I go to Brazil. If you're
Brazil?
going for that, you go to Brazil.
Yeah, you love the Southern.
I like the curves.
Well, I think you just like a lot of things about the Hispanic culture and the high family mentalities. And
Is Brazil Hispanic? I don't think so. It's Portuguese.
Brazil is in Southern America.
It doesn't mean it's Hispanic. They speak
they
Portuguese.
speak Portuguese for sure, but they have
That's not a Hispanic-
Southern American descent.
That's it. I don't think that's a good question. Put that on the poll. Is Brazil Hispanic?
It's not.
I don't think
Hispanic.
so. The
It's not
answer's
Hispanic. No.
Right?
But
Peru, right next to it, is.
I would say it's
Because
a
they
Southern
speak
American
Spanish.
descent.
So Hispanic means somebody who speaks Spanish but isn't from Spain, right?
Yeah. No. Well, no.
I'm gonna pull up the definition of Hispanic. while
We're
we just
gonna
sit here
get too
hanging out.
lost on it. Latin America is what Social Media Lounge says from Chong Lee. I think he's absolutely right there. Latin America.
Hispanic, relating to Spain or Spanish-speaking countries, especially those of Latin America. So technically, Brazil is yes.
All right. So yes.
Damn it, though. But what is Latin America? No, I don't think so, because it's not South America. Latin America
Latino.
just means Spanish-speaking countries, which is not Brazil.
Well, they do speak Spanish there and Portuguese.
Well, they speak Spanish here. We're not a Hispanic country.
Yeah, but it's
Technically.
not the primary language. It's not like
And nor is it of Brazil. I think Brazil is not This is a good one. This is a good one. I don't think Brazil is a Hispanic country.
you're like, nope, we're not going anywhere.
I just gotta sit on it. Well, there's no answer. I don't think there's a good answer to that. All right. Anyway, moving on. Go ahead and vote on that. I'd like to know. I'm gonna put that poll out there on our Twitter profile.
So
I
you would
wanna
move to
know.
Brazil then? What's your top 3 cities?
My top 3 cities that I would go to. I haven't seen. Well, I mean, Denver would be great. I like Denver.
You know what? I'm taking Denver off the list. I'm putting San Diego on.
But I don't. Yeah, I was gonna take it out. I don't think I would want to live there.
I want to go back.
Year
Okay, I already
round.
turned it off, and I
All
want
right,
to put it
you're
back.
out. It's my turn now. You're out of here. Way too indecisive. Get out of here.
Can it be a 5? Can it be a 5-state list?
But do you
I go a lot
see?
of
Do you see
places.
how healthy this is? I think to do this and realize that you don't necessarily have to live there, but you could.
But you appreciate but then you become to find where you appreciate where you are.
Yeah, and I just want people to realize, like, you're not stuck. As stuck as you feel, you're not stuck. You always have the ability to change, even if you have kids. Like, I know I don't have kids, and let me give you my first 3. I'll give you my 3. I haven't even thought about it. I would have to be. I would guess San Diego. I've never been, but it crosses all my checkpoints. I mean, they like their Christmas trees. It's legal there. Perfect weather,
That's
and it's on
2
the.
in 1. You had 2 in 1.
They
don't
like their Christmas trees, and it's legal.
All right.
And it's chill, and it's also like beautiful weather all year round.
Yeah.
Now Denver is the same deal because even when it snows,
And you're shooting distance to Mexico.
yeah, which would be cool. I didn't realize how close San Diego is to Mexico, and I've never been out of the country, so that would be a fun one. Sorry, so I'll do San Diego. I also think it would be cool to live. Like, I'd like to live in Denver. There's a lot of homeless people there, man.
There's a lot of homeless people in San Diego.
Are there?
And there's a lot of homeless people in LA.
There's a bunch in LA. You know what?
We talked about
Tenfold in Denver.
It's a big city problem.
Tenfold in Denver. I've been to both cities in the last month.
Denver.
Denver, guys, Denver was bad. Denver was like we had homeless guys like barking at us on the basketball courts. We're 10 white boys trying to play some basketball, and we're not playing regular basketball. We're playing 42, which is a game of 2 versus 2, but it's a shooting game and you're tipping it to each other. You look really stupid playing it. And these like ghetto ass looking, I mean, they were black dudes who looked like they were barking at us, clearly homeless, and they ran the park. And like this dude was like, he was walking the 3-point line, mean mugging, but also making jokes, talking about how he used to play in Maryland, and he just kept pointing out our tallest guy and goes, "You, I want you. I'm a dunk on you, motherfucker. I'm gonna dunk on you." And it was funny, but there's also something a little bit off on this dude.
Yeah.
And like,
You don't want to be too close.
No, and I'm gonna be one-wheeling around and exploring, and I don't want to find myself in a situation where all of a sudden, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, in Denver, there was a lawn to walk through to get to the basketball courts that we had to all walk over. The lawn is like maybe 20 feet by it's like 20 feet wide, and then it's just a long strip. And it's littered with just homeless people because it's the only place for shade out there, and the sun is so damn powerful because you're so high up. Guys, I'm talking about every 2 feet. Like, you're walking over it as if you're like stepping over kids at a slumber party and trying not to wake your friends up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how littered it was. Not littered is not the right word. That's how packed in and crammed with just homeless people and sleeping bags and their things.
Every street corner has loads of them. Yeah.
And then if you go down to the Rhino District where all the breweries are, that's all gone, and it's nothing but white people. So it's like weird. It's like, wow, okay, that's a separation I wasn't ready for. It's like, it's weird. Denver's gotten weird, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember my 1 in 10 rule? 1 out of 10 people in Denver is walking around a little bit too fucked up. You just see them looking at a table like. You can see they're just fucked up. It's swimming. They're tripping, and or they're just way too stoned, or they took some edibles. And
I bet you a lot of the people you see there aren't from there.
That's what I'm saying. I think anybody who wanted to do drugs legally went to Denver. Then all of the prices went up with all the housing, and now you've got people who already lived there who can't afford it. And oh, by the way, all the people who moved there and now they're stuck and can't afford it.
So what you're telling me is they're experiencing what had happened here 10 years ago, 13 years ago, 15 years ago?
Is that what happened on the bubble with all the that was everywhere.
Yeah.
But I do think that just because Denver was the only place to legalize it so recreationally.
Oh yeah.
I quit my job and went out there. I said, "See ya. I'm gonna find a radio show in Colorado." It's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you my next 2, but I don't know. I don't think I would want to give. I don't think that's somewhere where I would want to like stay. I need water close by. I feel landlocked if I'm stuck in the mountains.
Yeah.
I just feel a little bit like I'm landlocked. So
what's your other 2?
I will give them to you as soon as we get back from break. Belly, I'm gonna change some tunes. You know what? If I hear this song one more time, I swear to God,
just take it off. Just take it off.
It's out.
Replace it.
Out. No more 8-bit retro game castle. That's the name of it. I'm having a blast with you guys. Thank you for hanging out. I'll give you another city that I'd like to live in. Hopefully you guys realize that you're not stuck if you're feeling that way. I promise you. That was the whole point we wanted to start with this today, is to remind you that you're in control of your own life. And if you need someone to talk to and you need some confidence about it, I promise you, I would be happy to help. Just hit me up any way you can, and I'll walk you through how you can start taking control of it, because life's too short to live by other people's rules, in my opinion. You want to do birds and the bees next?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Out.
All right, we'll talk about who's banging out who when we get back after.
Bird or the bee?
Have you ever wondered to yourself, man, what the fuck am I going to eat today? I got the answer for you right here, folks. It's Marinate Restaurant. You marinateyourlife.com. That's what you're going to do. You're going to go over there. You're going to get yourself some sliders, some bowls, some soups, some tacos, whatever it is, because you know on Tuesdays, those tacos are buy one, get one free. So head over to the Brando store on the corner of Western and Melrose and get yourself some goddamn tacos. Let's go, baby. MarinateYourLife.com. Head over there today for the best food you've never had.
You guys are so hot right now.
What's up, y'all? It's Maddie Mads here. This show is sponsored by TTR Studios. Whether it's weddings, parties, karaoke, audio, video production, and all your entertainment needs, call TTR Studios, LLC at 703-850-2223 or check them out at ttrevents.com. Start the show, Luch.
Today's show is brought to you by Christmas trees from all across the land. Chop them down. Pack them up. Light them up. And inhale. Good luck. Hopefully you have nothing to do today. Be nice to the real Christmas trees. Have fun with the fake ones that you know what we're talking about. Now,
Happy Friday to all.
yes, HFP.
It's going to be a fun weekend for sure. I'm going to be
Yeah, Belly's gone.
Yeah, I'm gone this weekend.
You're leaving. You're going to a bachelor party.
Yeah, bachelor party this weekend. Happy bachelor party weekend to you, Paul. We are here there to celebrate you and your nuptials that are
What will your liquor of
coming
choice be, Mr. Belly Matt LaBelle?
I've got
co-host?
2 bottles of Cabo Wabo tequila. ready
Owned
to
by
go
or
on the
ran
truck.
by.
Sammy Hagar, but I don't think he owns them anymore. I think he sold his stake.
Did you guys know
in
that?
Cabo
Sammy
Wabo.
Hagar, Van Halen,
Yeah.
Cabo Wabo. Nicely done. All right, so let's get back to it, and I would like to get into the birds and the bees. Why do we call it that? Have you ever noticed that? We call it the birds and the bees, but why are we having 2 species getting after it in the story? Why isn't it just the birds? Why isn't it just the bees? And who's the guy and who's the girl? So these are the questions that I would like to open up to the social media lounge. The phone lines are open, by the way. If you would like to hit us with cities you would like to live in, if you could pick one. I don't think I would do Miami as far as the last one that I would choose. I would probably... Nashville sounds cool. Nashville would be cool because I know the music scene is amazing. Have that phone in front of you just in case.
But it is
we have.
country music, you know.
I'm okay with country music. I was a country music DJ for my second job. Afternoon
true.
Drive, dude. I never listened. You guys realize I had never heard a country song other than like something that was so national, Garth Brooks, like on commercials. I had never listened to country music and accepted a afternoon drive position at a country radio station in Ocean City, Maryland. So I was like, oh yeah, I can do it. Sure. And you know what? That shit is just rock music with the twang.
Yeah, that's
Twinge.
all it is. And I mean, Taylor Swift got her start in rock music. Now she's all pop.
Avril Lavigne was supposed to be poppy.
And the best country songs.
They turned her punk.
And country makes the best karaoke music, typically. It's the ones I'm good singing, anyway. Good at
Yeah.
singing.
What was the one that we said I need to do karaoke for? Faithfully.
Faithfully.
Yeah, because the girl in the red dress.
Yes, the girl in the red dress, I will never forget.
30 seconds.
30 seconds is basically the woman went up there. She was wearing this beautiful red dress. She looks amazing in it. And then absolutely crushes Faithfully.
That's hot.
That's hot.
That's hot.
I literally was like straight Wayne's World. We're not worthy.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy.
That's another question. Can you look bad in a red dress?
No.
The answer is no.
No, the answer is no.
Can you look good in toe socks? The answer is no. It's just the truth. I'm just saying. So, what's up with the birds and the bees?
Yeah, who's banging who?
Who's banging who and who's the guy, who's the girl? I don't know the origin. Can you look up the origin?
Already done.
What?
Already done.
You have the origin? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Give me the origin of the birds and the bees. According to what website? What website? Where's this coming from?
Livescience.com.
Thank you.
The phrase "the birds and the bees" is a metaphor for explaining the mechanics of reproduction to younger children, relying on imagery of bees pollinating and eggs hatching to substitute for more technical explanation of sexual intercourse.
So the bee is the guy splooging all over the flowers, just splooging his seed
all over the eggs.
And then the birds are the females who lay eggs.
Yes.
That's where the eggs come through.
Yeah.
But there's no connection of birds and bees there. That
bees can't
sense.
pollinate eggs.
Yeah. Why are we lying to our kids? That's some bullshit.
I guess it's to create a more cartoon-friendly image.
Yeah, it's like bestiality. No, that's wrong. That's too far.
No, that's not.
Because it's just two species. Interspecial.
Yeah, it's definitely not two things that can reproduce.
And it's not like that's not how we reproduce anyway. Like if that was like, I know some sea animals like.
It's to explain the pollination of the egg.
Yeah, but don't some sea animals like the egg, like somehow it happens like the egg is on the female drops the egg and then the male goes and like fertilizes it.
That's fish.
Fish do that, right?
Trout do that.
That's what I'm saying. That would make sense in the birds and the bees scenario. There's no interbody connection here. But the birds and the bees makes no sense to me.
They don't
as a human representation.
It's to explain to children, not the part where they do it. It's to explain how babies are made.
But that makes no sense.
You don't have to tell them about
if you're a 10-year-old, are you walking out of that having a fucking clue what's going on?
Let me tell you what you don't want to tell them is mommy and daddy do it.
I would like, look,
it is, so when a mommy and a daddy really love each other is how
me and your mother and I, we did this to make you. That's a little bit heavy for a 10-year-old. However,
you can't tell them the ins and outs of it.
I would like, if I can, I don't do this often. We don't do phone calls on this show very often, but I would like to just splice in, because we're missing Potts today, a typical third or just any third voice. I would like a caller to call in, not tell us who you are, and just anonymously give your best birds and the bees talk using the birds and the bees analogy to a hypothetical 10-year-old. I would like a caller to call in and not tell us who you are and give us your best birds and bees talk to your hypothetical kid. I would like to hear how this would go down. Because I don't get it. My dad didn't do birds and the bees with me. My dad was very blunt. We were on the radio. Feel free to call in right now while I'm telling this. 571-354-7338. Belly will get you on. You don't have to tell us who you are. We would love your participation right now. 571-354-7338. Your best birds and the bees attempt. My dad, we were coming home from CCD, church class, and it was held in one of the rooms upstairs in the church with all these books on these shelves, and one of the sections of books had they were to do with sex. It was like the joy of sex. It was like not anything pornographic. It was in a church, but the word sex was all over these 5 books, and of course those are the 5 that we found before the teacher walked in, and we all went nuts with it. So we're all having a blast. And we're like, but I told my dad on the way in, and I'm like, hee, Dad, we found books that were about sex. And my dad is like, that's cool. Do you know what it means? I'll tell you how this ends as soon as we get to the caller. Caller anonymously. All right, caller anonymously, give us your best birds and the bees talk to a child.
Best birds and the bees talk to a child. Kindly go fuck yourself.
Thank you, caller. Very nicely done. That's perfect. That's all we needed. That's a tribute to Matty Potts right there. Thank you, phone calls. Social Media Lounge, you guys tickle me. They get the show, Belly. They get it.
Yep, we got something to get. We finally have some people that they get the show.
They get the show. Like, we've had to train our listeners for a little bit, and now we've got people in here on a regular basis enough to get our humor. And guys, I can't tell you how much it tickles me. Fantastic. Just 10 out of 10 phone caller.
That kid knows what he's doing now.
He gets it.
He gets it.
Yeah, just go fuck yourself. Actually, that's not too far from it. But my dad said, do you know what sex is? We're in the car, and I'm like, we're driving home from church class. It's nighttime. It's dark out.
Remember how old you were?
10, 12, somewhere around there. And, I mean, it was elementary school. And, yeah, about 4th, 5th grade. So, yeah, right around 10 or 11. And I just remember it's just my dad and I in the car. I'm in shotgun. He's driving. It's nighttime, and it's just the two of us. And I'm making we found these sex books. He said, "Do you even know what that means?" And I was like, "Well, no." He's like, "It's when a man. It's how babies are made." And I said, "Oh, well, yeah." And he's like, "That's when a man puts his penis inside a woman's vagina, and then he ejaculates his sperm, and it fertilizes the egg. It's very much like plugs, Adam." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, that's why that like an outlet on the wall that's called the female end, and the plug that you plug into it is the male end." Have you ever thought about that? And I was like, "I didn't even know that." And he's like, "Well, that's how that works because the male end plugs into the female end, right?"
That's thought about the best way to describe this for years before he finally had to tell it.
It was unbelievable. Fantastic. It was unbelievable. It gave me the answers, and then literally, I swear to God, I kid you not, this is a true story. That night, I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks, man." And that was the end of it. He said it so matter-of-factly as if we were talking about baseball. It just was normal. And before we go to the social media lounge, I just have to end this. I literally went to the shower that night, looked down at my penis, and I said, the words they came out of my mouth. "Well, you're going somewhere someday, buddy."
Oh, no.
I mean, I just found out what it was for.
So from the social media lounge, I think nowadays people don't even have the talk anymore. Most learn from porn beforehand.
I mean, isn't that true? Like, seriously, they know what it is.
It's more readily available.
But do you think...
Also, TV is very sexualized, even in very kid-friendly shows. I mean, you seem to come across a lot where there's definitely talks about these kind of issues in kid shows.
Do you remember Looney Tunes? Because you had the skunk walking around pretty much just Pepe Le Pew, just a rapist. It's a Chappelle joke, but he's basically a rapist.
Yeah. Well, he's just
he's a
womanizer, that's
yeah,
for sure.
For sure. We went through that as
Sexual
kids.
harassment was probably high on the lawsuits for Pepe Le Pew.
We didn't have sexual harassment pandas.
Nope.
I love South Park. I think South Park is the best at social commentary on any show.
And we watched that at a very young age, and there's a lot of dirty things in that show.
I remember,
so you learn it as you go along.
But here's a question:
make your own connections.
Do you know what makes where babies come from? So if kids are learning what sex is by porn these days because it's so readily available, do you think they're watching it but not realizing that that's how babies are made, or do you think that they know that's the act of babies being made?
Well, that's why we're education in schools. I mean, I did learn a lot in sexual education in school.
Do you remember the cards that we had to write? Did you guys do note cards in sex ed?
I don't remember. What was the premise of the note cards?
They would ask you to write any random question. And if you had any questions that you wanted to ask anonymously, you can just write them on the card, and then we'll just collect the cards and answer them as they come in.
Yeah. And
it was just a joke spree. I mean, I'll never forget the one. If I put salsa on my dick, will the kid come out Mexican?
Kids are the worst.
That's something that an elementary school kid wrote.
Yeah.
I didn't write it.
Yeah, it's fair. They obviously are not sure how it's going to work. Like, what do they dip their D in rice and then it comes out Asian?
Yeah, exactly. Well, soy sauce is the joke for that one. But yeah. No, but I remember those questions.
Don't do any of that. You will definitely get an infection, a urinary tract infection.
Do none of that.
Don't do any of that.
Do none of that.
For all you kids listening.
I just don't understand why it's the birds and the bees. So we can pass on. I want to give you guys the rule that, but if you are about to give that talk to your kids, just be blunt with. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but it was really helpful for me that my dad was blunt and informational, and that was it.
Find your plug.
Talk about plugs. Don't talk about. That would have been like it makes no sense. He's like, yeah, it's a light bulb that screws in and like a salad.
Microphones have it too.
What?
Microphones have it too.
Yeah,
Female,
internet, yeah.
Male.
Yep, you plug the male into the... Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. In fact, if you guys look on your... you one-wheel riders...
we had a listener also get the plugs in the wall talk.
Get out of here! Yeah, me and you. All right. But one-wheel riders, you guys know, if you guys have looked into getting those dummy plugs for your charge port, you'll see that they say either male or female so that you know which end you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically how my dad just told me. So let's get into this $20 rule that I have. And it's really been, because we only have like 5 minutes left and I just want to touch on it. I'm looking at hopefully buying a house soon, but I'm realizing that I'm not financially, that down payment sucks. And as a self-employed worker, I have to be ready for a very decent sized tax bill at the end of the year. I have to pay I don't pay my taxes like you guys do on W-2s as you go, and then you just get your money and then you get your taxes back. if you've overpaid.
Overpaid.
That's amazing. Yeah, I remember you used to get like $1,000 or $2,000 every freaking April, whatever, and it was just like, this is the best. Now,
You're welcome, government, for me overpaying.
Now I have to pay 1/3 of whatever I've made over the year. So just whatever that number is, and then you got to pay it, or if you haven't been paying quarterly payments. So it's like, oh man, I have that, and I'm sitting there looking at that, and I'm like, I'd like to buy a house, but I need that and a down payment. So how can I get to the point where I have both? And I sat down and I looked at my numbers, and I have never been on a budget. Like, do you write a budget for yourself, Belly?
I wish I did.
Do you know anybody who does? Like, does anybody in the social media lounge?
My sister's very budgetary. I mean, if you know an accountant, if you know someone who is into accounting and does accounting for a living, they do have a budget and they are always prepared.
Could you live with somebody like that? Like, if
I lived with
wife?
someone my whole life like that.
Who? Your sister?
No, my dad.
Okay.
Is an accounting person.
Is that hard?
Definitely. I wouldn't say it's hard. I mean, always had help with my math homework, which was great.
Well, because but you strike me as somebody who's like, I don't really think about financial goals. I just want to make enough money to be able to do the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't really think about it. If I want to go get Chipotle, I just go get Chipotle.
I try and save. My financial goals right now are all geared towards paying off my student loans, which are almost done, and making sure my credit card debt stays within a manageable range.
So I've realized that that's smart.
Turn off at any time.
Financial goals are fantastic because otherwise you're just kind of like living your life like I was, and I realized like, wow, I'm wasting a lot of money. And all that money that I'm wasting, there's your down payment right there. So I figured out if I can spend no more than $20 a day on food and BS. So gas is out of the question. Bills are out of the question. And then if I can only, that's already accounted for.
That's a lot. $20 a day is a lot.
It is. But
adds up.
For me,
that's $600 a month.
Damn right it is. But that's that I'm allowing myself to spend. I'm telling you right now, I'm guessing that you guys might, if you start thinking about how much money you spend a day, do it today. Try it today. See if you can only spend $20 today on food and fun. It's hard, man. A meal is $10. That's half of it right there. It's really hard.
From the social media lounge. What about the Xmas tree budget?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it means I got to kind of cut down on that or make that last a little bit longer or go work my ass off and get more
income
tips because I use like tips. Okay, that would work. Or cash or just anything. I guess that doesn't make sense. I use more than tips. It's income. But yeah, exactly. I kind of had that sort of built out. But if you just think about food and bullshit.
Like going out,
beers, just randomly buying something.
$40 easily every time I go out.
Toilet paper,
Unless
sure, that counts.
Places.
Toilet paper, that's $4 that I just spent four packs at the dollar store. So that's $4. Now I'm down to $16 for the day. And what I'm doing is I'm writing down every day how much I spent. And being that I'm forcing myself to do this, it's unbelievable. I've spent $30 in the last 5 days. I spent $30 in 5 days because I went to the grocery store, I bought all my food, and that's it. And I've just been making my food. I'm not buying frivolous shit. And it's been good for me because I realized I'm addicted to buying things. Like, I'm addicted to spending.
I've seen it.
I like to buy things. It's fun. It makes me feel like there's something new in my life.
It's funny when I come home and find that you've had like this little spending spree where you have like bags everywhere and you're like, yeah, look what I got. Toy.
Christmas!
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
What have you been doing?
I'll challenge you to see if you can only spend $20 today and then realize if you can write down, because I'm doing rollover, so if I only spend $15, then that's $25 I get for tomorrow. And then at the end of the week, I add up what I have left, and that's pretty much how I'm getting to pay for my Christmas trees.
15 plus 20 is 35.
No. I've spent the 15. I have 5 left over. So now I add that to my 20 on the next day, and then I try to build that up over the week, and now I got enough money for Christmas trees. Woo!
There you go.
Life is good. See how you can do it. I bet you're wasting a lot more money than you realize, especially on your $2 or $3 coffees that could easily be 50 cents made at your house. But hey, if you like living that way, you do it. We will get to new Tinder and Bumble games next. Don't miss it right here on Lucdogg in the Morning.
At LITM Radio. All the time. TTR Studios.
man, baby.
Marinate Restaurant puts a unique twist on fast casual dining by starting with only the freshest ingredients to slow cook delicious melodies of taste and colors that are sure to delight your senses. Whether you're craving the Chipotle pulled pork sliders, honey basil chicken tacos, or the infamous kitchen sink wrap, Marinate has something for everybody with tons of vegetarian options too. It's the perfect choice of catering for your offices or events with fast and friendly service from a brand new store on Melrose and Wester. Stop by today, or you can order online at marinateyourlife.com.
Yay for Taco Tuesday! Don't forget, buy one, get one free. All damn day!
Tacos, wraps, sliders, and sides. Slow cooked to perfection at Marinate Restaurant. marinateyourlife.com.
All right, son. It's time to have that little talk and discussion. Your mother tells me you've been asking a couple questions that she wanted me to come and speak with you about. So first, I'd like to start with you asking any questions that you might have. So tell me what you know already. Okay, that's good. I'm glad that you found those. I'm glad you have that information. It's good to know. But here's what I really want to get into. This is the... Nope, I can't do it.
Come on! Don't bail from the bit!
When a man and a woman love each other very much, they decide and they make a conscious decision to have
Let's try it this
children.
way. Daddy, where do babies come from?
When a man and a woman love each other very much, they bang it out and out comes you.
I mean, how do you work the birds and the bees into that? I don't know. Ask me where babies come from. Let's see if I can do it.
Adam, where do babies come from?
My kid doesn't call me Adam, and they don't speak like that.
Dad, where do babies come from?
Well, son, that's something I've been meaning to talk to you about. Let's have a seat. You know, when two people love each other, when any two animals love each other, like take the birds and the bees, for example. They do something that, I don't know how you can relate it to having kids. It makes no sense.
It doesn't. So I can't explain the birds and the bees.
I don't get it, dude.
It's impossible. It's just not feasible.
Listen, take us to both of us. If anybody can call in randomly throughout the rest of the show, 571-354-7338.
In fact, for all future shows,
we'll take.
Just call in and just start your birds and the bees talk.
Completely anonymously.
All on Lucdogg
we
in the
will
morning.
take your call. We'll stop whatever we're talking about, and we'll just go to you. And
you
you'll
can't
give
hijack Voice of One Wheel, but you can hijack this show
anytime you want. But you have to give your best birds and the bees, because I want to see somebody do that successfully. I thought I was off to a good start, and I have no idea how to relate that. I don't get it. So. Feel free to do that anytime within this discussion. And also, something just happened in the social media lounge that just tickled Belly and us, and it's amazing. They can't thank you guys enough.
Yes, social media lounge, I always like to give you a little shout out when you guys are just amazingly awesome. So we have a new listener in the social media lounge today. Will, welcome. It's a pleasure having you.
Newsflash.
Breaking news here at the social media lounge.
What's up, Will?
We've got a new guy joining us, and
but he's asking
TTR
questions.
Studios. He asks a question: what is TTR Studios? Which is a fine question to ask.
It's a perfect question to ask.
But just as I'm thinking about answering, I say, you know what? I'm going to let the social media lounge handle this because I know they're good enough. And of course, without a seconds delay, they answer the question. They take care of it.
That's what I'm talking about,
guys. Caring that much.
Thank you for caring about us, knowing our backstory, and helping us. I welcome the new members as they get in there because we do our best to manage it, but obviously we're also doing a show here, so it really helps that you guys are just on board. Happy congratulations to your first show, Will H. Glad to have you on here, and everybody else, really. That's just another Christmas tree for you to spark. So, now, I've been talking differently to ladies, Belly, and it's working.
How you been speaking to him, Luch?
Here's a new rule. Just like my $20, no more spending. Jesus.
Making a lot of rules for yourself.
Yeah, it's good. I'm growing up, man. It feels good.
34 years later.
Yeah, exactly. No more exclamation points and no more smiley faces. I'm out.
All right.
I'm out. I'm very...
No exclamation points?
No exclamation. Try it, dude. It's hard. You kind of feel like a dick.
I tried, and I guess, but I still use them.
Right? You're talking to your Bumble girl, right? You're talking to a girl on Bumble right now?
Tinder.
Tinder. See what happens if you alleviate all your exclamation points or emojis.
I haven't used too many.
No emojis either.
I don't use emojis.
That's good.
I'm not an emoji person.
I smiley face everywhere.
Yes, you do.
Because guys, listen, when you're writing in tone, I smiley face to the brides and grooms that ask me questions and emails. Because you have to, I'm selling my personality. And if I'm doing that through an email, like, you're not going to realize what kind of a person I am through words on a page, no matter how I write them.
In fact, those dating apps all just added Bitmojis in there. So you could add your personalized emoji.
I don't need that shit. I'm telling you. So, because it's good in bride situations and whatnot, and you would think that's good in dating. Show your personality, especially for somebody like me whose personality is way more attractive than his face.
Don't sell yourself short.
Thanks, bud. However, I don't think it works. I don't think women want to see that. I think they see that as like the pushover guy. They want the dominating guy on most of these apps. I'm not saying in real life. I'm just saying on the dating apps, the Tinders and the Bumbles, you see what happens if you write with nothing but periods and that's it.
I ask a lot of questions, but that maybe just be the journalist in me.
I think questions is a good way to go because everybody wants to tell their own story.
Exactly.
But that's what you save for the date.
Well,
ask the questions on the date.
Oh, I do save some of that. I ask the questions to show that I'm interested in what they want. Like,
you already swiped right. I know you're interested. That's what she's thinking.
Yeah.
You know, the connection's there, dude. Stop being a gentleman.
Set it up.
Stop thinking about the old school ways, and let's just talk about what we're doing here. Let's just get right to it. Periods, and that's it. No emojis, no smiling faces. I'll make jokes, but you're getting a period afterwards. And I'm telling you right now, it's changing the way that I'm getting responses. People are taking me more seriously for some reason.
Good.
Is that weird?
I wouldn't think it's weird, no. I mean, I think it's a direct way of being...
Like, do you write...
Yeah, it's being direct.
Does the Social Media Lounge write with... Do you use smiley faces in your everyday emails? Emails to coworker. Are you smiley facing? Emails to a boss, can you drop a smiley face? I can get away with that.
I would say no in the work environment to keep the smiley face.
Where is the smiley face appropriate? Let's do this. Text between friends? Of course.
Of course.
Text between peer coworkers? I think yes.
Yes, it depends on what the conversation is. If it's about work, no. If it's about your boss, you better keep that smiley face.
If it's like, hey,
just off the phone.
If I'm your coworker and I'm like a female and I'm like, hey, do you have that report done? I need to get that into the boss by 2:00.
Yes, no smiley face.
You don't see a problem? Do you see a problem with me saying, "Yep, I'll have it to you soon"? Smiley face.
No, yeah, that's no.
Why not?
That's a.
Let's all just lighten up.
That's a no for me.
That's how I'm finishing that email.
That's a no.
100%.
Next, you're gonna send a winky face.
If I like her. Huggies. Yeah, but obviously to a boss, no. Right?
Boss, no. Keep your work emails professional, man. Keep them professional.
What about to like your child?
Have a great day, smiley face.
I'm
you
sure.
should put that in their lunchbox. Put emojis on their lunchbox.
To your spouse?
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely.
Definitely emojis in the spouse. To the spouse.
Yeah, keep emoji game strong.
Well, you're all about keeping the spark in a relationship. That's kind of been a theme of what you've been saying lately. And like, keep your date nights. 10 years in, who cares? Go on dates.
Go on dates. Do something together that's just you two.
So how do you do that as a married couple?
I know it's hard.
Do you have to...
It's really hard.
What would you do? You're not married, so let's speak.
I'm not. I have no idea what to do.
But that's where it's good, because I think somebody who is married might be able to like be like, oh yeah, good idea, Belly. Let's see you try that. But I'm curious if that's like if you set a night, Friday night's date night, and then you have kids, that's gone. You never get to just pick a night and then go with it every week. And I'm sure that it ends up being whatever night we have free, and then eventually whatever night you have free, you just want to relax.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. Like, I gotta be honest with you, I kind of don't want to go to Float Life Fest. I know.
Gasp.
It's the same thing as saying I kind of don't want to go out on a date tonight. Of course I want to go out on a date with my wife. Of course I want to go to Float Life Fest. But the way that the logistics are working out, it's going to be like 6 hours of driving to stay in a hotel room so that I can be there on Thursday, DJ all until the end of the night on Thursday until Friday morning, and then sleep 4 hours and then drive 7 hours home before the weekend even starts anyway. And you know what? It'd be a fucking blast if I do it.
Yeah.
I'd have a blast.
Just very memorable experience meeting all the people that, I mean, listen to our show. I mean, the people.
You know how badly I want to see all these people and meet all these people?
Mm-hmm.
You know how badly I want to go out on a date with my wife? Maybe get a little handsy afterwards? It's the same thing. It's so easy to just be like, yeah, but
good
what?
old fashioned.
An OTHP, whatever it is.
OTPH.
There it is. Over the pants hand job. But it's so easy to just be like, nah, I'd rather stay home. Even though you know if you went on the date, you're getting your OTPHJ.
I don't want to tell you why I'm laughing. I'll tell you after the show.
That's fine. I have a feeling I know why you're laughing so hard.
Good.
Which, yes, is behind the scenes. However, it's the same thing. You know, if I go to Float Life Fest and I put myself through the 14 hours of driving in 3 days or whatever, you know I'm gonna have an awesome time that I'll remember forever.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just got to kind of kick yourself in the ass. So can we come up with a word to say? I like that. It's a really good way. I used to do it in special ed all the time. Just a word to say to click your brain into, all right. Like, remember when I said fluffernutter anytime I said, Belly, yell fluffernutter anytime my tone gets bad when I'm talking about future motion. And he would, and then it would just make me smile, and I would just kind of calm down. So anytime you're feeling like you're in a rut, or you're turning down something that you know is a good idea, just because you feel like staying home might be a better idea, can we come up with a word? What do we think?
Or a phrase?
I would say, I like fluffernutter just because it's funny. You want to just go with fluffernutter?
I mean, fluffernutter is a great one, but I mean, it could be a phrase, or I think everyone has their own kind
Jasmo.
of...
Jasmo's good.
Let's rock this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Jasmo.
Jasmo.
Jasmo will be your word.
No.
Anytime you feel like you want to just stay home because it'd be better than going out, especially with somebody you care about, Jasmo.
What is this Jasmo?
It's just a word that they'll remember. It's just a word. It means nothing other than, hey, remember what we were talking about this one time? It'll be worth it if you put the effort out. Once you get there, you're going to love it. Just get your shoes on. Jasmo.
Social Media Lounge says strap it on.
Potts!
Touchdown! For the Social Media Lounge.
Jasmo sucks. Social Media Lounge is way funnier than I am. Strap it on is now what you will say.
No one's saying Jasmo, bro.
Dude, I like Jasmo. I came up with Spiga. That was a word.
Nope.
Spiga was a word that I used with my girlfriend to say because love wasn't enough.
I don't like that word.
Spiga.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
Well, I know. Are you thinking racial things with that word?
It's too close.
Is that too close for you? Is that where you're going? Why you look so uncomfortable right now?
It's too close.
Look, I was pretty special.
And saying it out loud in public, someone could definitely mishear you.
No. I was very special growing up, and what I mean by that is I used to make noise.
No.
Just no.
Touchdown again.
Yeah.
Social Media Lounge.
Boom.
Crushing it today.
When I say I was very special growing up, I don't mean in an awesome way. I mean I was very special ed growing up.
Jasmo over Spiga. They're just dropping people's elbows in the Social Media Lounge today.
People's elbows? Nice. Yeah. The Rock. No, I used to make noises, guys, to the point where my mom literally one time, I used to go all the time. I would just walk around because that feels really good on my throat. And then when I start teaching special ed, I didn't realize that that's what's called stimming. You're getting stimulation on a feeling in your throat. You'll see kids doing this because they're looking at the light go through their fingers. It's causing extra stimulation to your brain. But I used to say words. I used to come up with words and just speak up all the time. You hear me say some weird-ass stuff randomly. We had a joke about that yesterday.
Yeah, you're like a Sims character. You speak in Sims tones.
I just randomly will just blurt things out. And Belly's like, you blurt out some weird things. And then I randomly just said, yeah, it's just overflow in my brain. There's no more room for it.
Yeah.
And he started cracking up, but it's true.
It's true.
Because I will just randomly just speak up. And that was something now not... Just start scatting with words.
Scootin'.
And so, no, it had nothing to do with racial anything.
Blabladook.
Blabladook would be great. But I like strap it on. Anytime you're feeling lazy and you don't want to go out, just tell yourself to strap it on
Your helmet, of course.
By the time you get your shoes on, you're ready to go. You're ready to go. Social Media Lounge.
Lace it up.
For the win today. Jazz, no. I love you guys. Let's get out of here. It's been a fun show.
Jazz, no.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out and your time and your efforts today. You really killed the show. The Social Media Lounge was the guest today from the Santa Monica newsroom, and we appreciate you. Belly, we got to go. It's time to say goodbye to the people.
Guys, it's been a wonderful week as always. The weather outside is beautiful, hopefully where you are today. If it is, get outside, enjoy the sun, see some friends, drink some beer, and strap it on.
Very nicely done. Thank you, Belly, and everybody in the Social Media Lounge, from Maddie Potts and everybody here at TTR Studios. We love you. We respect you. Maddie Potts will be back on Wednesday, and of course, Voice of One Wheel with Rowdy Burton on Tuesday. We're excited to do that one, so just join us then. Have a wonderful weekend from everybody here. It's Lucdogg in the Morning.
Brought to you by TTR Studios.